Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So it's just me today as we're talking about Mercy. She's a hero that seems to come up quite a lot on this channel in a lot of ways. The SR gain, countless bugs, where she sits in the meta, does she need nerf, and there's a lot to talk about with this hero, and it comes as no surprise that she's probably one of the most important heroes in the game. It mostly just comes down to the fact that the most players play her and the most players main her. So that's why when we hear stuff like we're going to talk about in this video happen, it's incredibly important that A, people know about it because a lot of people play Mercy, and B, to sort of address the issue, to bring it up to a bigger population of people so that you know about it, but also could say to Blizz, hey, this stuff isn't cool, this needs sorting, because we've already gone over some of the bugs with Mercy and how it's really important for the hero that her kit stays relatively bug free. Again, we'll talk about the implications of the bugs that we're going to talk about in this video. There's two major ones. One of them's more silly than anything, but one is quite frustrating to watch and look at. And also talk about the hero currently. It's been quite some time since the SR changes have been sort of put onto Mercy, so I do want to talk about where she sort of stands, whether she's too strong, whether she needs nerfing, anything like that. Before we actually talk about the bugs, I do want to know if you've experienced any bugs yourself, either with Mercy or in the game, in the comments below. I generally want to get a collection of these that we could sort of show to Blizzard to be like, a lot of people are saying that they're experiencing this, so it would really be helpful if you put in the comments any bugs that you've experienced, and we can hopefully make something happen out of that. So you're probably wondering what the bugs are. Well, we'll go over the first one, which is a little bit more serious, a little bit more frustrating to look at, I suppose. It's really hard to find a clip of this, but it kind of boils down to being the same bug as it was before. This bug is actually even worse because when you try and resurrect, it doesn't. It's really hard to try and show this on screen, but generally you can sort of hear EVA's frustration at the fact that he's trying to resurrect people at this time. The enemy soldier's using ultimate. He wants to basically resurrect somebody to be invulnerable and fly in. It didn't work at all, and of course got himself killed. For those that don't know, there was a bug with Mercy about a month and a half ago where your little resurrection guide that appears in the middle of the screen that says how many people resurrect wasn't the same as the amount of people who are actually being resurrected. For example, it would say 3 on the screen but would actually resurrect either 2 or 4. This was an issue to do with the flight target that you had. If you were flying to somebody to res them, it wouldn't actually resurrect them. We have a load of sort of footage and clips that EVA and a couple of other people have gathered together to sort of show this off, and basically that's sort of the same bug. It's still kind of in the game but in a different iteration, and there's a couple of more instances of this happening where the resurrect isn't happening at the time that the Mercy player wants it to, presses it a little bit later on, and it doesn't resurrect the amount of people that it says it should. So as you can imagine, this is fairly frustrating, not only for the Mercy but for the people waiting to be resurrected. Before we talk about why this is a big issue, let's go over the last change, which is baffling, crazy, but also kind of needs fixing. I guess this video I didn't want it to be too doom and gloom, a bit too, oh Blizzard, you need to sort this stuff out, you are terrible at sorting this game. I want this to be a little bit more lighthearted, but these issues of course do need change and I do want to bring them to light. But this is the main one. You actually get resurrected in spawn. So I think these are instances where the res timer is about to run out, the Mercy comes in to try and resurrect you to wait for other people to die, and in its confusion it actually does resurrect you, it says in the kill feed, but also brings you back in spawn. Now I don't need to tell you why this is such a big issue, of course, and I find it more funny than frustrating, but if you sort of clock this with the other bug that we just went over, where the resurrect isn't actually working and it's not bringing back the right people, then of course you're going to run into some frustrating issues for playing the hero, and of course she has a hard enough time already. So they're the two main changes, and now I want to talk about where Mercy lies in the meta. I currently think that she's in a fairly decent spot right now. I think with SR gains and stuff like that, it seems to be quite moderate. Things are going on as per usual. We did a video last week where I spoke to Man of Snow, who was a pro player and very knowledgeable at the game. One of the topics that we spoke about was Mercy, and it was interesting to see the response to that in terms of how many people thought that she was either just broken or balanced. It's one of those instances where a lot of people are saying that she's fairly balanced, and a lot of people are saying that she's completely broken and needs nerfing, and even some people saying that she needs buffing. So it's really hard to gauge where she is. And considering Blizzard are still saying, yeah, we're looking at sorting out Mercy just to sort of rework her a little bit, I do expect we're going to see some changes that aren't necessarily going to be favourable to her. The way that Blizzard work the nerfs currently is more that they nerf one bit of a kit and buff another just to make sure that this sort of works. Roadhog is a really good example. They nerfed his damage output per shot, but are increasing his survivability. But as you've seen from Roadhog, this isn't necessarily always a good thing. But so far, I don't really have any complaints from Mercy. I'm really curious to hear if you guys have in the comments below. But I'm going to end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. This is more of a PSA just to let you know that Mercy's a little bit buggy at the moment. Probably something to watch out for. maybe if you play a little bit of her, watch out in competitive for stuff like this, and if it's constantly happening, maybe pick up another hero for the time being, because of course Resurrection is such a strong ability that you don't necessarily want to be going into game to play your best when the game is kind of playing against you, if that makes sense. But thanks for watching. As I said at the start of this video, let me know if you've had any Mercy bugs or any other bugs in the game currently. We did a bit of a log, maybe to sort of go over some other bugs that are in the game right now that could do with fixing at some point. So let us know below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, share it so people are aware of what's going on, subscribe for more Overwatch content, and until next time, take care. We'll see you then.